First and foremost, it just revealed the kind of character that we have. The toughness, the relentless spirit, the flexibility.
Welcome back to Wnba Core. Today's story has taken another unexpected turn with major developments grabbing the attention of WNBA fans everywhere. From surprising claims to intense reactions, the conversation surrounding the situation is growing bigger by the minute. So, what's really going on? Has this story reached a major turning point? And what could happen next? Stay with me until the very end because we're breaking down the key details, the latest reactions, and everything you need to know. If you enjoy this type of coverage, please consider liking this video and subscribing to WNBA Core. Believe it or not, over 93% of our viewers haven't subscribed yet. It's completely free, takes only a second, and means the world to our team. Have you subscribed already? Fantastic. Thank you so much for your support. Now, back to the video. It's finished. The project as a whole is on the brink of a catastrophic system-wide collapse, and those in command are giving the arsonists matches and adding gasoline to the fire. By far, this is no longer just about a game. This concerns an open, antagonistic, and completely indisputable uprising that is developing within the WNBA. Caitlin Clark's journey is a civil war against its own redemption, golden ticket, and last chance. This internal conflict has now resulted in its first high-profile deserter and public casualty. They forced a coach to resign. She shouldn't quit her job because that would be too easy and tidy. They made a well-known accomplished head coach give up on the supporters, the public square, and even the concept of accountability because the unvarnished, unadulterated truth that hundreds of thousands of new fans were screaming became too loud for the collapsing establishment to ignore. This is a 5-alarm code red fire. This is a real-time example of a complete system breakdown. And what we are seeing is the public application of common sense aired live to the entire world. The so-called experts in the mainstream sports media who have financial incentives to defend the league are deliberately misleading you. They're saying things like this is just rookie treatment and giving you pitiful patronizing phrases. They are attempting to persuade you that this is simply welcome to the league's physicality. The fans, the real people who are genuinely funding this league for the first time in its troubled history, are shouting the truth from the rooftops of the internet because it is an abhorrent, obvious lie. And at last, the carefully built wall of quiet and denial has been breached by their cries and their rightful indignation. The head coach of Connecticut's Sun, the league's unbeaten top team, Stephanie White, just learned what happens when you engage in the league's dirty little secret and are discovered. Her team, which was excellent, faced the Indiana Fever. Naturally, they used ridiculous, superfluous, and even dangerous physicality when guarding Caitlin Clark. It appears to be the only strategy anyone has against her. It's the unwritten memo for the entire league: beat her up if you can't outsmart her, hip check her into the third row if you are unable to outshoot her. It's a tactic that prioritizes brutality above skill, but this time was unique. This time, the response went beyond a few minor grievances. The flood was biblical. The fan base of Caitlin Clark unleashed a tidal wave of unadulterated wrath, a fan base that currently serves as the WNBA's whole clientele. They have had enough of seeing the league's best player treated like a human piñata game after game after game. The screen is filled with a fast-paced, disorienting collage of social media remarks, display irate YouTube responses, Instagram comments, and tweets aimed against Stephanie White and the Connecticut Sun's official accounts. Messages are highlighted and usernames are displayed. Shameful. It's not basketball here. Keep your stars safe. The remarks were harsh. They were unrelenting. They had no mercy at all. You should feel guilty because your team plays filthy basketball. Is this a targeted attack or basketball? The league must look into this. You're just another bigot, another coach who is envious of a 22-year-old sensation who possesses more talent than your entire squad put together. It continued for several hours. A digital army of supporters who can clearly see what the media, players, and league office are unable to see, that they are deliberately attempting to injure, dehumanize, and physically and psychologically destroy the one individual who has the potential to make this league significant on a worldwide level. And how did this public outcry turn out when the truth was exposed for everyone to see? What happened? Stephanie White was unable to handle it. It was too much pressure. The reality was too harmful. Her X account was erased. She gave up. She had no defense, so she fled the conversation. She is not justified. There is no way to defend what is taking place. This goes beyond a coach deciding to log off after receiving some hurtful tweets. This is a fundamental flaw in the WNBA as a whole. The very supporters that her league so desperately needs to exist publicly humiliated the head coach of an unbeaten team and drove her into virtual exile. The entire paying public has cast a gigantic vote of no confidence in this. This is the audience standing up and telling the WNBA straight out that they recognize the plot. The jealousy is evident. We will not tolerate the coordinated onslaught. If you ruin your own product, we won't pay. The league, the coaches, the veteran players, and the organization as a whole have all contributed to the toxic, hostile, and dangerous environment that exists not only for Caitlin Clark on the court, but also for anyone who is thought to be a member of the old guard that so obviously despises her. They've cultivated a resentful, us versus them, mindset, and now it's blowing up in their faces in the most dramatic and visible way possible. They genuinely believe they could steer the story. They severely miscalculated the strength of the people, believing that they could use ESPN's media mouthpieces to spin this as normal and deceive the millions of new viewers. The direct emotional and monetary commitment that millions of new admirers have in Caitlin Clark was undervalued. This is no longer only a sporting problem, it's a full-fledged cultural battle. It's a revolt against a weak, insecure establishment that would sooner destroy the entire house than acknowledge that she is greater and more significant than all of them put together, because it is so afraid of a transcendent superstar. Visual, a high-definition slow-motion video of Chindy Carter's egregious foul on Clark keeps playing. Next, a slow-motion video of Alyssa Thomas or Nalissa Smith's risky hip check is shown. Overlay the pictures with bold red lettering, "This isn't basketball. It's a targeted attack." Let's be bluntly, horribly, and utterly clear. What we witness every night is not basketball, it's a well-planned campaign of physical intimidation that is actively supported by the repulsive envy of seasoned players who can't abide that a rookie is receiving all the attention they were never able to, as well as implicitly approved by the league office's dead silence. They don't work in tandem with her, they attack her. She is not boxed out by them. When the referees aren't looking, they push her to the ground. What about the referees? They have either received their marching orders from higher up, are completely incompetent, or are complicit in this effort. No other rational reason exists. Everybody has witnessed it on a daily basis, the off-ball shoves, the cheap shots, the persistent gripping and grabbing. It is indisputable. People like Stephanie White are the ones who enable it, and it is a shame to the sport. Like every other coach this season, her strategy is based on a single pitiful concept: Caitlin Clark should be physically punished until she breaks. She was unable to confront the storm when the paying clients and fans confronted her about it. She bolted. She ended the discussion. That's an admission of guilt right there. It is the most pivotal point in the whole farce that is taking place. It demonstrates that they are aware of the wrongness, filth, and indefensibility of what they are doing. They simply never would have imagined that such a sizable and fervent fan base would hold them responsible for it. They believed that the opinions of the people could not affect their small, isolated world. The gates have been breached, though. The financial ramifications of this organized attempt of self-sabotage are going to be incredibly terrifying for all parties concerned. And the flood is here. Visual, a potent split screen. On one side, thousands of people wearing Clark jerseys fill an entirely sold-out arena for an Indiana Fever game. Conversely, archive video from a previous season shows a half-empty WNBA arena, calm and lifeless. Remembering the realities of this league only 6 months ago is important. In essence, the WNBA was a charity case, playing in front of friends, family, and a small group of devoted supporters. It was a league supported by the NBA for decades, a financial black hole that was losing money every year. It was a specialized product with no appeal to the general public. Then Caitlin Clark, a legend, showed up. She quickly turned into a one-woman economic stimulus package for the entire collapsing organization. The league's ticket costs have increased by more than 200%. On certain nights, viewership figures are surpassing those of the NBA and NHL, shattering previous records. Her jersey went on to become the best-selling draft pick jersey in sports history, regardless of the sport, male or female. After decades of complaints, she persuaded the league to eventually accept charter flights for all teams because she alone brought in so much money and attention. She is an economic miracle all by herself. She would be wrapped in industrial-grade bubble wrap by any rational company, any firm with even a tiny bit of brain or a fundamental survival instinct. They would insist that referees treat her as if she were a precious national asset. Every advertising campaign, TV commercial, and social media post would revolve around her. They would make her the league's unchallenged, unrepentant face and challenge anyone to do otherwise. However, what has the WNBA accomplished? The complete opposite. They've let their angry, envious players use her as a punching bag every night. The biggest names in the league, the so-called veterans, have gone on podcasts and interviews to disparage her, gripe about her, and stoke hostility rather than bringing her gift baskets and expressing gratitude for their increased significance and higher salaries. Out of sheer pitiful, unadulterated jealousy, they are deliberately contaminating their own water supply. In the annals of contemporary sports, it is the most spectacular and astounding act of institutional self-destruction. After receiving a lottery ticket worth billions of dollars, they all agreed to set it on fire. For a moment, picture the NBA in the 1980s deciding that Michael Jordan was becoming too well known. What would have happened if David Stern had let the bad boy Pistons' brutal, unethical practices go unpunished and eventually forced Jordan out of the league? The NBA would not have survived. In the annals of sports history, it would be a forgotten footnote. The WNBA is currently perched on just that precipice. They are deliberately choosing to be the Detroit Pistons, and they are living their Michael Jordan moment. The entire league is full of executives, coaches, and players who would prefer to govern over a kingdom of ashes than see the legitimate ascension of a new queen. And the wealthy and powerful fans witness it all. Since the mainstream media won't, I would like to read what you have to say. They are too cowardly, they don't want to upset their league partners, but now the only thing that counts are your voices. Visual, one by one, full-screen tweets and YouTube comments are emphasized for maximum impact. This is a comment from Jayhawks fan 88, the best evidence is Stephanie White's account deletion. Last year, she was the Fever's coach. She is familiar with the appearance of a generational celebrity. Now that she is leading an unbeaten squad, her strategy is to have them attack Clark. She was called out and folded like a shoddy suit. Cowardly. This is an additional one from Sarah P. 22, it is no longer even concealed. It is a league-wide conspiracy. The veterans fear being forgotten and replaced. Because the league management is weak and afraid of its own players, the WNBA is allowing them to get away with abuse. And this one from Real Talk Sports Guy encapsulates everything. This league will go bankrupt in 3 years if Adam Silver and the NBA Board of Governors don't take action to clean up the WNBA. You can't promote a superstar and then allow the other staff members to disparage her on national television. It's an enormous financial, PR, and HR nightmare. This is the reality. The WNBA league administration is making a valiant effort to disregard this unvarnished fact. However, a revolution cannot be disregarded. Stephanie White had to learn that the hard way. Her leaving the public square serves as a metaphor for the pitiful state of the entire system. They don't know the solutions. They are not justified. They lack a rational defense. As everything around them completely changes, all they have is a frantic, flailing attempt to cling to a shred of power. The damage grows more irreversible the longer they permit this hideous display to go on. Every cheap shot that is missed, every envious remark made by a resentful veteran, and every coach who employs a beat-her-up tactic erode the tenuous basis of this recent success. Sponsors won't want to be connected to this turmoil and mayhem. Players that behave like bullies on the court are not someone parents want their kids to look up to. The millions upon millions of casual fans that Caitlin Clark attracted will become disgusted and depart. And after they depart this time, they will never, ever return. They will leave behind a league that is even more bankrupt, irrelevant, and ridiculous than it was before her arrival. Their legacy will be that of the coaches and players who, out of pure hatred, drove away the best thing that had ever happened to them. We are all witnesses to this slow-motion suicide mission. We are witnessing a league decide to end its existence. It's a horrible, embarrassing, and totally preventable catastrophe. What's the other option? A capable league. A league managed by business-savvy individuals. A marketing-savvy league. A league that safeguards its most important resources. That's the blueprint. Take a look at the quarterbacks in the NFL. If you breathe too forcefully on a quarterback, you'll be fined heavily and given a 15-yard penalty. Take a look at how the NBA developed its stars. In order to provide scorers the opportunity to demonstrate their excellence, they established rules. They realized that spectators paid to see Michael Jordan, not to witness Bill Laimbeer rob him. This successful concept has been actively resisted by the WNBA. They have opted for anarchy. They have opted for the path of bitterness. They have opted for self-immolation. They now have to deal with the scorching repercussions. The canary in the coal mine is the Stephanie White issue. It is the first unmistakable public indication that the system is crumbling under the tremendous pressure of the supporters' fury. They are no longer able to hide. They cannot act as though this is not taking place. We are observing. The receipts are with us. We have the posts on social media. There are countless video clips available. The evidence is damning and overwhelming. This is a last-ditch effort by a dying institution to cling to a history that no one cared about, while also stifling everyone's dream of a bright future. It won't stand, and it can't. If a significant top-down reform is not implemented right away, the collapse is imminent. The commissioner must intervene forcefully. Every single dirty play should result in heavy fines. Suspensions are necessary. Every coach and every player must receive a clear, unequivocal, and public message: the future belongs to Caitlin Clark. Additionally, you will be dismissed if you obstruct her path or attempt to hurt her. Anything less is a declaration of war against the supporters, advancement, and league survival itself. I'm going to ask you directly, what do you see when you watch these games? Do you see a hard-nosed, tough defense, or do you see a deliberate, well-planned campaign of psychological and physical intimidation? Do you think it's a random gesture of self-care when a coach deletes her social media accounts, or do you think it's a terrified admission of guilt in the face of intense public pressure? The lines of battle have been drawn. You won't get the truth from the mainstream media. The league refuses to acknowledge the situation. It is up to us. Maintaining this league depends on the fans who are genuinely paying attention. Your voice is more important than ever. So, please let me know in the comments section right now, do you support Caitlin Clark and the sports industry's future, or do you support the deteriorating, self-destructive, and envious establishment that is frantically attempting to destroy her before she can even begin? You have the option. The entire world is watching to see who prevails in this pivotal moment.